Hello students, till previous video we have read up to page number 36, the last paragraph. Let's begin from the last paragraph now. Sadao, Yumi tells me the servants feel if we hide this man here anymore, she said. She tells me that they are saying that you and I were so long in America that we have forgotten to think of our own country first. They think we like Americans. So here Hannah is worried about the servants because the servants had told Yumi that they aren't going to stay here anymore and they want to leave the house because they feel that Hannah and Sadao have lived in America for a longer time. That's why they like Americans and they were not concerned about that the Americans were their enemy. It's not true, Sadao said harshly. Americans are our enemies, but I have been trained not to let a man die if I can help it. The servants cannot understand that, she said anxiously. No, he agreed. Neither seemed able to say any more, and somehow the household dragged on. The servants grew more watchful. Their courtesy was as careful as ever, but their eyes were cold upon the pair to whom they were hired. It's clear what our master ought to do, the old gardener said one morning. So, till this time, the servants had been living there as usual, but they had a doubt about the uh, feeling of patriotism in Sadao and Hannah, and they were quite indifferent in their attitude towards both of them. So it's clear what our master ought to do, the old gardener said one morning. He had worked with flowers all his life and he had been a specialist too in moss. For Sadao's father, he had made one of the finest moss gardens in Japan, sweeping the bright green carpet constantly so that not a leaf or a pine needle marred the velvet of its surface. My old master's son knows very well what he ought to do, he now said, pinching a bud from a bush as he spoke. When the man was so near death, why did he not let him bleed? So the servant, gardener, and the cook, they are in a discussion, and this gardener had been working here right from Sadao's father's days, and Sadao's father loved garden moss, etc. And this gardener was quite good at doing all these things. And he said that uh, Sadao should know that what he must do. That young master is so proud of his skill to save life that he saves any life. The cook said contemptuously. She split a fowl's neck skillfully and held the fluttering bird and let its blood flow into the roots of a wisteria vine. Blood is the best of fertilizers, and the old gardener would not let her waste a drop of it. So now the cook was working in the kitchen and she had cut a fowl's neck, and the blood which was flowing, she was letting that blood flow into the wisteria vine. It is a kind of plant because the blood is said to be the best of fertilizer. It's the children of whom we must think, Yumi said sadly. What will be their fate if their father is condemned as a traitor? They did not try to hide what they said from the ears of Hannah as she stood arranging the day's flowers in the veranda nearby. And they were doing this discussion and intentionally so that Hannah should listen to it, and she knew they spoke on purpose that she might hear. That day, that they were right, she knew too in most of her being. And she knew whatever the servants were saying, they were right. But there was another part of her which she herself could not understand. It was not sentimental liking of the prisoner. She had come to think of him as a prisoner. She had not liked him even yesterday when he had said in his impulsive way, "Anyway, let me tell you that my name is Tom." She had only bowed her little distant bow. She saw hurt in his eyes, but she did not wish to assuage it. Indeed, he was a great trouble in this house. So here Hannah is not feeling, not having any kind of feelings of that of an enemy towards this man, but she considered him as a prisoner of war, and somewhere she had a soft corner for him. But then she did not like him to be here because this man was a problem in this household. As for Sadao, every day he examined the wound carefully. The last stitches had been pulled out this morning, and the young man would, in a fortnight, be nearly as well as ever. Sadao went back to his office and carefully typed a letter to the chief of police reporting the whole matter. So now Sadao had checked him up, and was feeling that white man was recovering every day, and now he thought that he should declare it to the general, that is chief of police. So he typed a letter. On the 21st day of February, an escaped prisoner was washed up on the shore in front of my house. So far he typed, and then he opened a secret drawer of his desk and put the unfinished report into it. So he had begun, but he wrote just one line and then stopped writing, put that letter in a drawer. On the seventh day after that, two things happened. In the morning, the servants left together. So the servants had decided that they must not work at such a place whose owner is sheltering an enemy. Their belongings tied in large square cotton kerchiefs. So they all left the place, tying up their belongings. When Hannah got up in the morning, nothing was done. The house not cleaned and the food not prepared, and she knew what it meant, and she could realize that all the servants have left the house. She was dismayed and even terrified, but her pride as a mistress would not allow her to show it. Instead, she inclined her head gracefully when they appeared before her in the kitchen, and she paid them off and thanked them for all that they had done for her. So Hannah was feeling sad about it that the servants have decided to leave the place, but because he was a mistress, he was the owner of the house, she was the owner of the house, so she did not want to bow or bend in front of them, and that's why she held her head gracefully in pride, paid their salaries to them, and thanked them for whatever they did for the family. They were crying, but she did not cry. It was her pride which was not letting her do so. The cook and the gardener had served Sadao since he was a little boy in his father's house, and Yumi cried because of the children. She was so grieving that after she had gone, she ran back to Hannah. "If the baby misses me too much tonight, send for me. I'm going to my own house, and you know where it is." So Yumi came to Hannah and told her that if she requires her help for the baby, then certainly she can ask for, send a message to her. "Thank you," Hannah said, smiling. But she told herself she would not send for Yumi however the baby cried. So it was her pride of the mistress which let her do so, and she said to herself that she would not send a message to Yumi at all. She made the breakfast and Sadao helped with the children. Neither of them spoke of the servants beyond the fact that they were gone. But after Hannah had taken morning food to the prisoner, she came back to Sadao. Why is it we cannot see clearly what we ought to do? She asked him. Even the servants see more clearly than we do. Why are we different from other Japanese? Now, Hannah is trying to convey to Sadao that even the servants they could decide that what they should do and they have done that. Why can't we decide it? Sadao did not answer, but a little later he went into the room where the prisoner was and said brusquely, "Today you may get up on your feet. I want you to stay up only 5 minutes at a time. Tomorrow you may try it twice as long. It would be well that you get back your strength as quickly as possible." He saw the flicker of terror on the young face that was still very pale. "Okay," the boy murmured. Evidently, he was determined to say more. "I feel I ought to thank you, doctor, for having saved my life." "Don't thank me too early," Sadao said coldly. He saw the flicker of terror again in the boy's eyes. Terror as unmistakable as an animal's. So he could see the terror in the eyes of that boy, and the scars on his neck were crimson for a moment. Those scars, what were they? Sadao did not. In the afternoon, the second thing happened. Hannah, working hard on unaccustomed labor, unaccustomed means not habitual of. She was not habitual of doing all the household tasks herself. So she saw a messenger come to the door in official uniform. Her hands went weak and she could not draw her breath. The servants must have told already. She ran to Sadao, gasping, unable to utter a word. But by then, the messenger had simply followed her through the garden, and there he stood. She pointed at him helplessly. She was frightened. Anna was frightened. Reason? Because servants have left the house now and they might have reported the matter of sheltering a white man to the police. And that is why this man might have come to arrest Sadao. This is what Hannah thought when she looked at the man. Sadao looked up from his book. He was in his office, the other partition of which was thrown open to the garden for the southern sunshine. "What is it?" he asked the messenger, and then he rose, seeing the man's uniform. "You are to come to the palace," the man said. "The old general is in pain again." "Oh," Hannah breathed. "Is that all?" "All?" the messenger exclaimed. "Is it not enough?" "Indeed it is," she replied. "I'm very sorry." When Sadao came to say goodbye, she was in the kitchen but doing nothing. The children were asleep and she sat merely resting for a moment, more exhausted from the fright than from work. "I thought they had come to arrest you," she said. He gazed down into her anxious eyes. "I must get rid of this man for your sake," he said in distress. "Somehow I must get rid of him." And now Sadao was also thinking that he should get rid of the white man. Now Sadao goes to see the general. As the messenger has come from the general's side, now Sadao went to see the general. "Of course," the general said weakly, "I understand fully, but that is because I once took a degree in Princeton. So few Japanese have." So, this is a discussion going on between Sadao and the general. "I care nothing for the man, Excellency," Sadao said, "but having operated on him with such success." "Yes, yes," the general said, "it only makes me feel you more indispensable to me. Evidently, you can save anyone. You are so skilled. You say you think I can stand one more such attack as I have had today?" So, this general was quite old. and he was much worried about his own health instead of anything else. Although Sadao had told him the truth about the white man, but the general did not pay much attention. Not more than once, Sadao said. Then certainly I can allow nothing to happen to you, the general said with anxiety. His long, pale Japanese face became expressionless, which meant that he was in deep thought. You cannot be arrested, the general said, closing his eyes. Suppose you were condemned to death, and the next day I had to have my operation. There are other surgeons, Excellency, Sadao suggested. The general was here worried about himself. He knew that the doctor had been treating him and he trusted only Sadao, so he didn't want Sadao to be arrested. He says that none I trust. He did not trust the other surgeons. The general replied, the best ones have been trained by Germans and would consider the operation successful even if I died. I do not care for their point of view. It seems a pity that we cannot better combine the German ruthlessness with the American sentimentality. Then you could turn your prisoner over to execution, and yet I could be sure you would not murder me while I was unconscious. The general laughed. He had an unusual sense of humor. As a Japanese, could you not combine these two foreign elements? He asked. So here the general has been talking about Germany and America. German people were ruthless, cruel, harsh, and they did not have feelings for others. Whereas, on the other hand, the Americans were quite emotional, sentimental, felt about others. So, this doctor Sadao, who was trained in America, he too was sentimental. But the other doctors there, they had been trained in Germany, so they had same kind of harshness, cruelness, um, ruthlessness towards the people. They were not so sentimental, and that's why general did not want to be operated upon by them, because he said that even if I die on operation table, or even if they would murder me, they would not feel bad about it. Sadao smiled. I'm quite sure, he said, but for your sake I would be willing to try, Excellency. The general shook his head. I had rather not be the test case, he said. He said, I don't want to be a test case. He felt suddenly weak and overwhelmed with the cares of his life as an official in times such as these, when repeated victory brought great responsibilities all over the South Pacific. It is very unfortunate that this man should have washed up on your doorstep, he said irritably. So now the general also became worried about it, that how come this man has been washed ashore on the doorstep of Sadao, and because he needed Sadao, that's why he does not want that Sadao should be hurt or should be arrested by the police. So he wanted to find out some way through which Sadao may get rid of this man. That's all for today. So you are supposed to read up to page number 40. and understand it carefully.